Hey everybody, Real Estate Ninja here, and just so you know, I am actually remodeling a house right now and wanted to take a break to talk to you about some things going on with DOGE and how DOGE is more than likely going to be wrecking the housing market. And this comes right out of Business Insider. They're saying that DOGE cuts could hit home prices the hardest in these 14 cities. And I don't think that I am live right now. Oh, I am. There is somebody who gave me a thumbs up. Thank you. You never know when YouTube wants to mess with me. All right, so here's the deal. Um, I want people to understand the consequences of things that are happening right now. They take a while to filter through the economy, right? So if everyone can hear me, can you do me a favor and just say hi? Just say hi if you can hear me. Just want to make sure because I'm running without a mic. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere working on a home, remodeling it that I actually purchased at a pretty darn good price. 15-20% under current market value because sellers are starting to get very tired of not being able to sell their house. The house I bought was on the market for over a year. All right, so let's talk about DOGE, okay, and how this is going to impact. It says here, homeowners looking to relocate would normally be in luck as the weather warms up. Spring usually ushers in the start of a busy season in the U.S. housing market. In fact, a recent report from Realtor.com said that the single best week to list a home is in mid-April, since median prices and buyer demand are robust while competition and price cuts are relatively low. Now, this is where it gets really important. I've taught these parts of the cycle in my real estate cycles course, but this is where it gets good. Oh, really quick. Tax liens course, we separated it. So because a lot of people were asking, they didn't have enough for both courses together. So we're doing a less than 24-hour flash sale. Links down below. It's $199. And my students are making more than that in their first tax lien deal, literally having checks show up in the mail. So if you want to learn about this, I guarantee you, if you listen to the whole course and do it, you will be blown away with the value in that course. Okay, so the link's down below there. All right. It says here, analysts on Realtor.com's data on the 50 largest U.S. markets suggest that sellers' bargaining power is waning and steadily surging home inventory puts property prices under pressure. And that's before accounting for the potential fallout from the sweeping budget cuts recommended by DOGE. Elon Musk, who runs DOGE, wants to eliminate government jobs in droves. Now, we've already seen in Washington, D.C., how listings have exploded. So if you live in Washington, you were hemming and hawing, you don't work for the government, you're thinking about listing, you're screwed. I am sorry to put it that way. You have so much competition, it's insane. So you're going to have to get extremely, extremely aggressive. But it says here, it breaks down these different states and different cities. And I think it's an incredible thing here. It says, well, let me check this out. More houses on the market means that bidding wars have largely become a pandemic era relic. Instead, sellers are resorting to price reductions to entice buyers. Nearly 17% of listings in February have received at least one price cut at some point versus 14.6% a year earlier. So that's increasing. It says here, sellers are increasingly adjusting to slower market conditions as the share of homes with price reductions rose significantly last month. This comes from Danielle Hale, a researcher at Realtor.com. She says this trend could indicate a potential slowdown in price growth. No, it's not price growth anymore. It's price fall. And you're going to see that this spring is when normal people would say, hey, you know what, it's time to list our home. This is the good time. And in my area where I live, during the winter, a lot of high-end homes they are pulled off the market. There were some that I was looking at where they got pulled off the market and they don't even want to relist them until spring. And they're going to be in so much trouble. It's going to blow their minds because they're going to see so much competition, so much inventory hitting the market. Now, I just sold my house, last September in California, and the reason why is there were only about 6 homes in my entire town for sale. That was such a record low. It was incredible. So then I took the opportunity to put mine on the market, and I got the most square foot, dollar per square foot in the entire town. As a matter of fact, it has now fallen about 15% per square foot in my own neighborhood that I've sold. I had a lot of little tricks. Even I've met the new buyers and they even said, we know we overpaid. That was the first thing they said when I saw them. I walked up to the house. That's literally, they walk out. We know we overpaid. but we love the house. And it was because I did all these little tricks, even down to how the brush marks on the concrete are put in diamonds. And anyway, it's a lot of tricks of the trade, right? I've been flipping homes forever. But my point being is they were super happy with it, but they've already seen in the neighborhood in California significant price reductions. We're talking 15 or more % price reductions just to get the house sold. So if you think for a second that just because things look rosy today, you have to realize lots of people are losing their jobs, not only to DOGE, but also to things like AI, right? We are moving into a recession. It's going to be out in the open, okay? Joe Biden's theory on recession, where he could just change the definition of what a recession is not good. This is not good at all. So I highly suggest people pay attention to what's happening now and position themselves for success before it's too late. So how do you position yourself for success? You can actually, as real estate is falling in price, you can actually make lots of money. Like, I'll give an example. Type 1, if you ever heard of the term cash on cash. That's the term when let's say you put $10,000 into a property, and that property, you get a mortgage, $10,000, and after all expenses, you pay for your property taxes, your insurance, everything, right? And the rent comes in, you profit $1,000, let's say, in a year. Well, since you invested $10,000, you made $1,000 in interest, profit. That means your cash on cash return was 10%, right? And there are a lot of people that really like to see 15% cash on cash. This is what I want you to understand. During a down economy, if you will buy tax liens, right, in places that pay between 12 and 36%, right? And you buy them right. You're buying owner-occupied properties, right, where they miss their taxes, and instead of, the county coming and taking their property, say, look, we'll let somebody else pay your taxes, but at the end of the year, if you don't, or at a certain term, if you don't pay us back plus the interest rate, we're going to come and get your house, right? So it's an extension. You're giving the homeowner more time to come up with their taxes, or the county's just going to take their house. And I have students that are going out, let's say New Jersey just had their auctions. They just went and bought my students just went and bought a ton of tax liens in New Jersey. And they're walking away with over 20% in some cases, some between 18. I've heard some really high interest rates within a few weeks, because somebody missed their tax payment. Oh yeah, here I just, I'm payday, paycheck to paycheck. Here's the check. And they made incredible interest. And now they're just taking that and rolling it over and rolling it over. This is an example of how you make money during a downturn in real estate. And you have very little skin in the game. You got a couple $1,000, you break that up over $400-500 tax liens, and then you wait for that money to roll in. Rather than expose that money as a down payment to go get cash flow, the cash flow is now checks in the mail from the county governments at different times as owners pay their taxes, as opposed to, a renter destroying your place or getting upset because they lost their job, them not paying you, and you having to evict them. This is where you go risk off and you make even more money and you build up that nest egg. I have people all the time that go, yeah, Ninja, it must be nice for you, but I barely make it. I've got like $1,000 by name, and like, go buy some tax liens. Go learn about this. This is a skill that only 1% of real estate investors have ever done. They've never done it, because the cost to entry normally for these courses are $2,000 to $5,000. I've even seen them with coaching as high as $50,000. Okay. I've set up the course if you want it. It's $199. Start with liens and then do a couple deals, and then you could get into deeds. You could buy the deeds course if you want, I think that's like $300, I think, right now. But my point is just start small and you can go and crush it. Now, seriously, if any of you have ever done a tax lien, can you just type lien down below? I'm curious how many people watching this right now have ever done it. I've heard people that have said to me over and over, I've always wanted to do it. I've always wanted to do it. See, Judy's done them. I've always wanted to do it, but I didn't know how to start. Well, there's a lot to it, but there really isn't a lot to it. You just need to know where to get the information. I went and bought a bunch of courses. I've been studying tax liens for, since 2001. And I finally dove in, and I'm like, oh gosh, once I started to see, I'm like, this is easy. Just need to know where to go to find the auctions, how to sign up, how to build your business, or you could use your social security number if you want. You don't have to have a full-blown LLC, but it's incredibly profitable. So if you want, the link's down below. It's 199 bucks. I wanted to make it the best lien course in the country, and honestly, I believe I have. All right, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I got to get back to cutting drywall and throwing things away. We've already filled a, what was it, a 30-yard or was it a 40-yard dumpster? Holy cow. And we got another one showing up right now. So it's a mess. All right, with that being said, the Real Estate Ninja is out.